Welcome back to the podcast. We have a very interesting guest today. For those who are new to the show, this podcast is sponsored by Plutus Agents. We help residential contractors eliminate the manual chaos in scheduling, client communications, and subcontractor coordination. They can stop wasting time on admin, increase margins, and keep building with the same team. Most of our clients, they come to us overwhelmed because their growth outpaces their systems. But with the right automations in place, they're able to scale efficiently without burning out their crew. So if that sounds like you or someone you know, just make sure to stick around for future episodes. And if you're interested in a free growth consultation, just connect with me on LinkedIn and message me growth. So today, I'm joined by Raymond, HVAC project manager, sales engineer, and business developer at Advanced Air Systems in South Florida. Sounds like a busy guy. He lives at the intersection of pre-construction, field execution, and revenue. So basically a triple threat to the industry. Raymond, it's great to have you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's great to be on the show. To listeners, thank you for your time. And Owen, to you, man, thank you for this time and space to discuss a little bit more of our work and our field.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. So, for somebody new, what does Advanced Air Systems actually do, kind of in plain English? Who do you most serve?
Basically, we're your roofing, your electrical, and your air conditioning guys, if you want to put it in a simple way, in a simple manner. Of course, we're licensed on all those three phases, and we are GC as well. But basically, what we do is, and what our community is, and what our culture is to help our clients. We're not here to we're here to solve issues. We're not here to dig deep into anybody's pockets. We're just here to do our job, do it right, do it correctly, do it efficiently, and then go off from there. Help the customer, help deliver something that it's truthful and impactful, and it takes them and helps them in their issue, and it takes them 25 years to repair, to come back to somebody and then waste their time. Not waste their time, waste their money, right? Do an investment. So basically, that's what we do. We do your roofing, we do your electrical, we do panels because we like to get into more diversifiable fields, and that's basically what we do. We're a family.
Awesome. I love that. It seems like you do everything. So, how
Yes,
about
yes.
we'll go into the job size, like ballpark job size and pace too. So, what's considered a small, typical, or large project for you guys, and how long does that usually take?
So basically, we're like I said, we're licensed in a plethora of trades. So we have several jobs. So we have jobs that can come in as a roofing job, but we also upsell or sell because the client needs it, equipment, HVAC equipment, repairs, etc. To give you a straight answer, our money ranges, project amount ranges between anywhere on the lows of $60,000 to 11, 15, 25. The biggest one that we did, which was a complete building renovation, was $30 million. So that's the range amount. Of course, we have several departments, we have project managers, etc. Because we do service, we do production, we do everything. But yes, in the range. While I was a project manager, a senior project manager, because I'm primarily now focusing in sales. When I was a project manager, the biggest one that we had to let me start with the lowest one was 3.5. Biggest one was 11,734. I know that amount because I was managing that
That's a
project.
big one.
Yes, I was managing that project, so that's exactly why I know my budget. But yes, that's primarily what it ranges around in advanced air systems.
Okay, awesome. So, how about
Yeah.
you? What's your day to day?
My day to day, fortunately enough, my manager, which works at Advanced Air Systems, his name is Paul Murphy. Excellent guy, very knowledgeable in HVAC. So shout out to you, Paul Murphy. He saw a potential in me to do sales. So primarily HVAC sales. I'm an engineer, graduated as an engineer, but I'm doing now engineering sales, and I'm a sales engineer now, right? Selling for them. So it's been fun. It's been 2 years of it, and it's been extremely fun because all the knowledge you gain being a technician, being graduated from university, which takes 5 years, it's a long time, and then becoming a project manager and learning all about this. People see that you're passionate about the work that you're talking about when you're trying to sell something to them, and not trying to sell. Because let's be honest, whenever you have a lead in front of you, it's because they have an issue and they need it fixed, right? So you're trying to provide them your services and then tell them, hey, this is how much, a great work is going to cost you. So yes, so my day to day being a sales engineer basically is having leads from our BD people, our business development people, and reaching out to them. We don't do the cold calls. We have the BD business development people to do that, our coworkers, but primarily calling those leads that need something fixed, listening to the customer and what they need fixed. But listen to them well because they're not technical people that will know exactly what they need. They'll just have an outcome that you have to listen to and be able to tap into that to be able to provide a solution, hence your service. So my day to day looks going through all my leads, calling them, making sure that I can help them understanding their issue and what's their time frame and what they need and the amount of equipment that they have. And then after that, make sure that out of, let's say, 15 leads, I could squeeze out three because I'm a sales engineer at the end of the day and I need my sales. And making sure, organizing that my follow-ups and my sales, etc., everything is organized and in pace. I also do project management. Once I'm done and finished with leads and sales and everything related to sales, which I do, let's say we'll divide on my time into 25%. That takes 25% of my time. Then project management, which is taking care of all of my projects and primarily making sure that the waterfall method that I use to do project management, because we're doing construction and that's the proper standard project management protocol that we should use. That takes another extra 25% of my time that goes into making sure that the project is on budget, on time, that I'm speaking with my stakeholders, that I'm in communication with my project owners, etc. And so that's hectic as well, making sure that everybody involved in the project, that the different heads involved in the project, technical people, assistants, project executives as well, they're involved all making tasks and completing tasks, making sure we can do the deliverables and I have my tasks on schedule to deliver, etc. So apart from that, another 25% is just making sure that everybody at the department is with that I'm involved with, just making sure that my coworkers and I are in communication all the time, make sure that they don't need anything, etc. Because at the end of the day, I manage them. I have a couple of people with me, and, you know, making sure that everything is okay on that part. And the last, but not the least, right? The last of that is having meetings on top of meetings with everybody, right? So that's basically at meetings on top of meetings that gives you information of what you're specifically to your roles and what the organization strives to do, and then you can take it from there. Yeah, that's basically it. I hope it's not a long answer.
No, I mean, it needed to be a long answer. Honestly, you got a pretty hectic day job you got going on there. Well, I'm glad to be one of your many meetings today. That's very important.
Problem.
So, just for those who don't know, could you quickly explain the waterfall method?
So the waterfall method is simply a project management method where you primarily use it in construction. Why is a waterfall? This is a day method. Okay, so waterfall method is that everything needs to be in flow. Like let's say metaphor says waterfall method, everything needs to be in flow. One thing that water needs to fall in order to create another cascade, and down and down and down and down, and that's how you create a waterfall. Whenever you see a project, let's say you create a file, you create it on that file, and it comes, it's a tree. Everything is connected to it. So waterfall method, it needs to be one step completed in order to get to the other, in order to get to the other, in order to get to the other, in order to get to the other. So that's specifically is what the waterfall method is. You can have other methods. You can use other methods, which are the complex method, and you also have the matrix method, which is when you have a lot of people moving at the same time and you don't have an idea of where your project or what your end goal is going to be. Waterfall is what we use in construction because you need to complete the permits to be able to start working, and you need to, when you start working and you're building a house, you need to do the cement first, you need to do the floor, you need to do everything in order to do the walls, etc. That's waterfall.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I can see why it's called
Mhm.
waterfall. I like that. So, where would you say most of your projects come from? Is it just repeat customers, partners, or just kind of bids, or the sales like you're talking about?
Primarily, an Advanced Air has been open since 1994. So word of mouth it's there. We have a pre-existing customer base that's very loyal. They come to us. So primarily, what we get is leads that come with pre-existing customers. customers that are also only roofing, customers that also need work when it comes to HVAC. We got the electrical and day retrofit as well from customers that may need services outside of HVAC. So that's our main source of income and lead generator, existing customers. We also have a team of dedicated sales team and business development team that they only do cold calls. Relentless, that team is relentless. They always do cold calls. They've been doing AI integration now and automating everything, and it's very exciting what they can do with a small group of people. So, Google, working the rounds around LinkedIn, working the rounds in social media, trying to get to the today's audience all the time, which is the new homeowners. They are the new project managers. They're the new head of buildings, presidents and etc. So yes, that's primarily how we get our customer base. Let's say, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. You got a bunch of cool colors around the clock doing that stuff. And it's really cool they're into AI. So then I'll go into some of the systems you use. So you've got some people in there getting into the AI space. What other systems are you using right now that just work particularly well?
When you say other systems, can you be more specific? Like
How about I
project
go,
management systems?
yeah, yeah, project management. Yep.
Okay. So in project management, what we're using right now is primarily Teams. Teams has a Teams OneDrive, that Microsoft plethora of networks that you can use. So we're using that. That's for our project management specifically because it connects everybody, and that's specifically what you need. I like to work a lot with Wrike. Wrike is a project management system that connects everybody and makes everything come alive. What I like from the project management system when it comes to Wrike is that if you upload a file, because when you do project management, we're basically talking about a system that can store all the data from your projects. And when you have a lot of people working in different areas of the project, it's very useful to have a live system that where somebody updates something. Hey, this inspection has been approved from a tech on site. Everybody automatically knows that that happened and you don't have to let anybody know manually or individually of what happened in the project. So Wrike is something that I recommend and use a lot. We use Teams, we use OneDrive because it notifies you, it makes you link it to Outlook, and that's how you do a very good project management system. That's how we do it. That's how it's been working so far. Mind you, we've been open since 1994, so we have a very good structure of people and teams and departments that are everywhere. So if anybody lacks in some place or misses anything, sure as hell somebody's going to pick it up afterwards. Yeah, and that's basically it. We use Wrikes, we use Teams, we use Outlook. We use for accounting, we use something called Spitfire. It's very good. When I say accounting, you can mix it there with the PMs as well because it's a system that allows the PM to have access to the budget, see what the margins are, see what work they're working with, see what their projection. Because as a project manager, one of the key things you need to hold on is changes, right? You have three keys: communication, changes, and structure. You can say that's one of the three keys to be a good project manager. So, I was in Spitfire. This program allows the manager to recognize whatever changes they did economically, budgetary wise to the project, and lets the accounting team know, providing reports monthly of, hey, here's where we are, here is what the projected margin on a couple of projects is, and that this is where it's staying at this month, that is suffer any changes, etc. So that's what we use as PMs, executives, etc., to kind of connect with accounting and record keeping to let them know how everything is going, and they can do projections of for first, second, third quarter, etc. So that's basically a couple of systems that we use and is fresh on mind right now. Yes. For core, also a good one.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you got two processes for people, communication is huge, and then the finances, you got that down too. So that's perfect.
Correct.
How about
Correct.
where do you see some slowdowns rather? So within your projects, like is that getting info, scheduling, inspections?
That slowdowns always comes when you have to deal with third parties, which is basically the entity of the project. So that's the name of the project. You have to deal with third parties. That slowdowns usually comes when you hit the city, for example, and you have all your project packages, and you need to go show it to the city, which is the government, not the government in whatever city you are. and then you need to get permits. They need to review it, and then they have comments, etc. That's usually a holdup, which you need to take an accountability for up 3 months, let's say. If you have a very big project with a lot of changes that you're doing, and if you do new construction, you cut that in half, month and a half. It's new construction. If you're doing retrofit, it's a different month. So that's a holdup. Also, as good project manager you are, you're never going to be perfect, and the project will have changes because it's not under your control. The project it's something that you know involves a lot of people to be able to do it. Well, as long as you can plan for everything, and you will have counterfires to issues, but you won't have to think on your feet for a lot of them, and that takes time as well because you didn't account for them. Holdups, I would say permitting, city, getting approval to move forward. That's a holdup. Unfortunately, since COVID, getting equipment, specifically in HVAC, takes a longer time to produce it. It's a lot like stocks. Whenever if now we're facing, we're hearing a lot of tariffs, and not hearing, they're into effect. So that makes it harder. Creates it makes everything more expensive, etc. So that delays a lot of the manufacturers. So equipment, permitting equipment, and I would also say depending of your client and how the client is in aspect to the job. Because I know we do a hell of a job, and we have all the people to do the hell of a job. Because if you have a good team, you're not going to be delayed by anything that comes to project. Now, and also for my contractors out there, the engineers might be a problem as well because they never visited the site, and you have to completely check what they did because everything is approved and everything is good. But when you get to the site, you actually see that you can't run the pipes through there because you have piping, electrical piping as well. Then you have fire alarm. Can't do that. So yes, that might be another that no, not might, that definitely is another way of delaying the product. Yes.
So there's always a little bit of something out there out of your control that could happen.
Yes. You can be great at everything, but you can be great at anticipating a lot of stuff, but expect it and just know that they're out of your control because they just are, and it's the way the game is.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So,
Hmm.
what is a recent miss or close call that kind of just taught you something really well, taught you a lesson?
Funny story. It's it's not all fun and games. I had a laboratory in Orange County, Orlando area. In this laboratory, it's called it's a water treatment lab. It's where they see all the water from that county to see if it's drinkable or not, if it has any hazard material in it. They test it, etc. So they're doing a complete replacement of all their equipment in the lab, but they need to keep the lab running. Apart from having to keep the lab running while we replace the air conditioning, which is how you fix that, how you litigate with that is by bringing temporary cooling into the project and having the lab operate normal hours like nothing is happening, even though you're taking out 80% of the main HVAC equipment. We also have the difficulty that you had testing equipment in the lab that needed to be at a certain temperature all the time. That temperature was 68. So you get 68 degrees in Florida during summer. It's hard, specifically with temporary cooling. We finished the entirety of the job. To make a long story very short, we finished the entirety of the job. The scope of work of the job is to replace 5 chilled water air handlers and 2 chillers, of course. While the lab is operating, we're talking about 120-ton equipment, chillers of 120 ton each, etc. So the system it's a chilled water system. We had 3-way valves installed in the air handlers and the chillers. The 3-way valves are valves that function to have a better flow of water in the chilled water piping system. When you put a lot of those, the system becomes redundant, more flow of water constantly. And the chillers did not accommodate to that very well. I had an issue with the second chiller, that the chiller was freezing. Well, not freezing, but the sensor of the evaporator coil was activating every time the water was going through. A certain amount of water was going through. saying that the chiller was going to freeze, protecting itself, shutting down, but leaving only one chiller working. Luckily, we had controls and I could see and monitor everything from my laptop because we had beautiful controls installed in the chiller and everything could be seen and monitored remotely. But we needed to do something about that. And we just couldn't take a valve out because it would damage the budget of the project, a project that was already tight because we're dealing with a public entity. It's something, it's they have everything in place to be able to use the tax dollar to good use, which is something I support. I'm not mad about that. But we didn't want to overturn the budget of the project. So we ended up messing with the sensor inside the chiller, lowering the temperature because, of course, the client wasn't in a good mood. He wanted everything done, and that was impeding him from getting what he wanted, which was constant cooling and at a certain temperature. So we ended up tweaking the sensor. We tweaked it. We fixed that by tweaking it a little bit, lowering the temperature. The chiller is going to be safe to everybody. For all the HVAC technicians out there, they're going to see me. The chiller is going to be fine. It was not damaged during that process. Just we lowered the temperature. We measured and we recorded the temperature where it was tripping the sensor, lowered the sensor capability, the reading of the sensor, the temperature that was going to set off the sensor, and that's basically how we solved it. But that was something that presented definitely a challenge outside of the box. Because in order for us to understand what was making that chiller shut off, it took us 3 months. We didn't know what was happening because it's not a sensor. It's such a small sensor that when the alarm comes as something completely different. Comes like the evaporator is actually freezing. The condenser coil is actually freezing. So it took us 3 months to figure it out, and the project almost there because everything was replaced, everything was working. It's just every week and a half, chiller 2 came down, and somebody had to manually go and restart it. So it was a hiccup. And that's a hiccup that you need to think, hey, that's something that you're never going to foresee because it's at the end of the project for project managers. And it's something that you have to think outside of the box to be able to fix because it's either that, doing a simple paying, having your check go on budget, $500 to tweak the sensor, or replacing a three-way valve in a couple of air handlers, doing the welding again, having 3 to 4 or 5 guys there, replacing the cast iron, shutting down the system, making sure you have temporary put, losing 20K on that. So think outside the box, always respect your budget, and it's going to come. Just wait for it.
Yeah. Wow, that's definitely a hiccup you had to think outside the box to fix. I
Yeah.
like to say you always fall to your system. So good thing you had a good system in place to kind of see what was going wrong and then check up on that and fix it up. So then going along with systems, what would you say your current like new lead to first response path, what does that look like? Who does it? Where does it stall?
So the first respond, you always have you call us, and you either go to our website, it will take you to a shot where a BD is there. And when you call us, it goes straight to business development team. So we have an in-call, our business development team takes care of that. That's basically the system that we use. Yes.
Okay, so that seems pretty straightforward, pretty quick. How do you keep relationships warm with your customers? Because you have a lot of repeat customers you were saying. So how does
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah. Make sure you do whatever you did for them is well done. That's me.
Just make
That's
sure
me.
everything's working well. Is that like continuous maintenance or
Well, it is continuous maintenance. I would say trust is gain, like as we all know. So for whatever they hired you first to do it well, do it right, do it well, do it fast, do it efficiently, and then make sure you provide them with every single tool that they're going to need when it comes to the period of where everything is done and they are out of warranty. Of course, we have a system set up for that. We have service and we have production that's set up for that. But even if they need something, go above and beyond for them. Make sure you check on them every single time, now and then. Treat them like your customers, like even though you've already gained that bit of gain out of them, you have that relationship already cemented. You have to always, you have to water the flower, man. You have to put water in it. have to create that. You have to keep on that relationship. How do I do that? I show up every day, not every day, but I keep them in my calendar. I give them a call. I connect with them through messages. I always give them an opportunity. I sent them a proposal for service for preventive maintenance, even though they don't need it. I just send the proposal and say, hey, I'm ready. I'm here if you need me. If you don't have anybody to come give you service when it's an emergency, here's my line. Here's an emergency line. Give me a call if you want to. So that's how I make sure I don't forget about them. I touch base with them every month and a half, 3 months, and I make sure that they're there. Also, our company has a lot of events where we're encouraged to invite existing customers. So we do 2 to 3 events every year where they're invited, and we just invite them to everything and just say thank you for the business that they provide.
That's awesome. Those frequent touch points and keeping that customer centric relationship first approach is really smart. And being proactive in a way, reaching out like, hey, I'm thinking of you. Like, if you need this,
Yeah.
I'm here. That's perfect.
People like to have a guy. People would like to
Yeah.
have a guy. That's my AC guy. That's my electrical guy. Just a call away. Yeah, they like that. We all like that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. So if you're looking ahead 12 to 18 months, we'll say, where do you see the biggest opportunities for advanced air systems? Was that projects, customer segments, or different ways of working? Anything you're seeing right now you think others might not be?
What I'm seeing right now is that down here, specifically in Miami, projects are going to always be flowing. There's a lot of construction that's happening. So projects are going to always be flowing, specifically with big corporations, GCs, capitalists, all that stuff. That's always going to keep flowing. Make sure you go and try to get those type of customers, because there's always a new building going up, always. And that's a good source of income. If you have the experience, if you have the tools, if you're licensed to it. If you are down, if your customer base, we're talking about residential people, absolutely use AI. Make sure you integrate AI into whatever you're doing. So first, you keep everything related to your company budget friendly. Second, you are able to reach a lot more people and do a lot more stuff just being by yourself and your AI. Or if you want to integrate more people that are capable, make sure that they know AI. And that's where I see the opportunity and the boom coming, apart from always targeting what's already there, which is social media, etc., just to get your name, your brand out there. Make sure your service is solid, but exploit AI. That's what I would say. When it comes to business opportunity, like I just said, GCs that have big contracts do high rises, etc. That's where if I was a young, hungry contractor, I would exploit. That's the type of customer I would like to have if I have all the tools and the services and the infrastructure to be able to do a job like that. But that's primarily what I see, specifically down here in South Florida. Yes, AI field. That's the next big thing, man. We all need to get in it. It's happening. It's
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. I love that. And I completely agree. You got to be an AI
Yeah.
first company nowadays if you really want to
Yes.
succeed. So then, since you're already thinking about AI, but we'll go kind of general success, the next 12 months in one sentence. What do you think that looks like for your company?
General success is that we accomplish our goal, which is the goal of having $55 million sold, not revenue, sold this year. That's our goal. We're near it. We're near it, very near it. And that's what we're trying to get. And that's primarily goals for our company now in the next 12 months. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So hypothetically, this might be a strange question, but you could do your best to answer it. So hypothetically, you have a magic wand, right? And you can fix one bottleneck in the business that's either holding you back or slowing you down. What would that be to get to that goal you have?
A better building department for all the cities in the United States. If I had a wand, it's just I wanted to control that, that'll be it. That'd be it.
So what do you mean by that, the better building department? Like what exactly would that do for you if it was better?
Better structured building department when it comes to codes, building department, all that, like better structure to give a better idea that they're more centralized and specialized in structured to comply with every single code that's for the city, but do it in a fashion that's more efficient, more faster. It can be done with more communication, where meetings are accessible, etc. That will be my fix to everything else. Because to fix, let's say, workforce, I could fix workforce. Yes, that'll be primarily it. I don't want to change anything else. I would like to make part of the contract easier, but that's just I would just have to be my one would have to grant me the wish of having contracts fall on my knees, which is not something that you know it is what it is. But to be practical with my wish, I would like to have a better government entity, building department structure in every single project that I have.
I get that. Thank you for being practical because yes, a bunch of leads in your lap would be pretty awesome, bunch of contracts. So then I'll ask you one more question. What do you see is shifting in your world in the HVAC industry, or actually you're much beyond just HVAC, but would that be customer expectations, supply chains, labor shortages maybe, or something else?
Well, I already said AI, but shifting into we're having a change of in the HVAC industry. We're having specifically a change of Freon, which is the refrigerant that you put into units. That's changing, and everything due to tariffs, etc. It's becoming the material quality is not as good. So I'm expecting in the next 12 months to have that the production time being reduced again to what it was previously. The quality of the material is not going to be the same. It's going to be less quality.
That's interesting you say that actually. I had another guest saying the same exact thing about the refrigerant too. So awesome. Let's take that as a great way to end it off. So I appreciate you joining us today and sharing some insights into the HVAC industry and advanced air systems.
You got it.
Yeah. So for listeners, if you've enjoyed the conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, share this episode with another residential contractor or founder in your circle. And of course, if you're looking to scale your operations with less chaos and more control, check out PlutusAgents.ai. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.